Yeah, decent trading. I'm going to be trying to do that because I need 3 of the super rares from Wave 2, and I have plenty of rares from Wave 2 and Wave 1, and I have Super Bumblebee from Wave 1. I'm looking for Windblade, Starscream, and Blitzwing. Just put that out there. I'm using this platform.
Nemesis Prime?
Right here.
Also, another place to ask about trading is the TCG Beginner's Guide panel. It's usually people who are interested in the game, and they'll be able to help you out with getting all that stuff going. Any other questions out there? I've got one over here.
Out of curiosity, when we're done with the trading card game, if we don't have our own deck, the deck that you guys provide us.
So, I'm not sure exactly what all he has. I know that he's got a bunch of boosters and that he brought some of the pre-made decks.
Oh, okay.
So there's currently the Autobot pre-made deck and the Metroplex pre-made deck that are out there now. Both of those, the Metroplex deck is an interesting deck to play. That is kind of its own thing. The Autobot starter set that you buy for 15 or 20, I can't remember the price off the top of my head. It's the good bones to something else. If you buy that and you play a couple of the sealed events, you're going to have a decent pool of cards that you could start putting together something that's your own.
Yeah, the starter deck is, like you said, it's a good core. It's just a whole bunch of 2-ofs of useful cards for the most part. But as a standalone deck, it's not as strong as the Metroplex pre-con deck, the pre-constructed deck. That one is actually able to do pretty well on its own. The starter set is half built as a deck, half built as a deck for 2 people to share, which personally I don't think communicates the game very well. Makes things feel a little bit too random. The Metroplex thing is kind of, if you haven't played it, Metroplex, he's your only character at the start, but every time he flips from robot mode to city mode, one of his 3 buddies fires out of his body and then enters the battlefield.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Yeah. We got one of the back.
Cool, thanks.
Unicron and Primus, we are theorizing, will be a pair of playmats that you can flip over. Because Metroplex and Omega Supreme are already very large cards. They are not that big. It's not that big. That's 8.5 by 11. Those are the Metroplex and Omega Supreme cards. The combiners are 5 normal cards put together, so they're already bigger than Metroplex and Omega Supreme. So, yeah, when they do Unicron and Primus, we're pretty sure it's going to be playmats.
Maybe tables that you have to just flip. We don't know.
We're encouraging them to do concrete slabs with, like, street art done on them. So when you flip it over, you also end the game because you just crushed your opponent physically.
Oh, wow.
With a concrete slab. Like, if you're strong enough to flip that over, you deserve to win.
That is a great win con, though.
Yeah. It's like, what do they call it? 7-second sun control at MTG. It's exactly like that. Whatever.
So Metroplex isn't like a theme deck, like a Magic Gathering, you have like space.
It's straight up. It's a unique mechanic so far, but it's also one that conveniently seems to work just like if there was a character in the franchise, say, who shot little friends out of his chest. It works very similar to that.
So there's no special rule. It's like, oh, you go to this tournament, you can't play.
Oh no, they're fine, because Metroplex has inherent limiters. When you play a 1-character deck, that means that, say you go first, you attack one of their guys. Now their whole team gets to attack you in return. That's why Metroplex, for instance, in robot mode, he has an ability, called his pulse, kind of like Overwatch. If you flip 2 orange pips, 2 blue pips, and 2 white pips, all at the same time when he attacks, the other team gets tapped, and they all take 1 damage. So it's kind of like, hey, you build your deck to try to do that often, which is really fun to do. It's total like swingy jank, but the best way, because when it happens, you feel like a superhero in a card game where you get cards. We got one over here. What's that?
Are any of the rare, super rare cards, or any of those outlawed yet?
Nope.
No.
Everything's fair game?
No, it's all fair games.
Yeah, there's no ban list. There's no ban list. There's no ban list. There's no restriction list either, and they currently have plans for rotation. Because there's no OP, there's no organized play. I'm hiding from the feedback, right? So yeah, play whatever you like. The only limits are 3 ups. That's really good. And then 25 star. Any other questions out there about cards? About over here.
sorry if I missed this, I've never played the game, but I see all these cards are like absolutely enormous and they seem like that'd be really fun to collect, but like, is there not supposedly some value to keeping what's in your hand from your opponent? Like, how is that even possible anymore?
So the character cards never get shuffled, they start on the field.
Oh, okay.
And then you have a deck of blank backed cards that are your actual shuffling deck that interact with them. Basically, when they designed the game, they decided early on, do we need to have the characters be in the shuffling deck or not? And when they decided not to, they're like, all right, let's make them enormous.
That's fun. Thanks.
Yeah, it's really fun, especially with taking a Metroplex around in a Mega Supreme. When you flip that card over, you go like slam that on the table. It's an alternate win con too. If your opponent doesn't have good sleeves and all their cards blow off the table, you win. It's simple. That's why you can't flip combiners over, because it would be unbalanced. Also, you have to be able to flip 5 cards at the same time. It's already kind of a test to tap the whole thing sideways, like with all your fingers outstretched. Right here with the hat.
So are you saying that the game can be fun?
Yes. Yes. The Transformers TCG has some great social media, and at one point on their Facebook page, my favorite story, someone left a lengthy comment saying, why is this Metroplex card so large? That's incredibly stupid. You can't store the thing easily. This is just a gimmick. Why would you make the card so oversized? To which the official Facebook group replied with a GIF that was the word fun, with a big flashing array like sparkle. And I don't think the guy replied.
Wow.
Anyway, we are just a little bit of time. If there are any card questions, any life questions, any Transformers questions, any questions about the nature of how your chairs were made, educated yes. Yes.
Do you know how the chairs were made?
No. I don't know how the chairs were made. They were made using square.
They're square, probably aluminum, so you've got some sort of bending operations or welding.
Yeah, but is the soft big glued on or is it nailed on?
I'd have to flip one over. It's probably
Don't flip a chair over, you animal. Like, don't, oh, jeez.
Yeah, no, there's screws in there.
Okay. Hey, that's actually not bad. It's going to be chintzy. There's a whole lot more going on. Like, I was thinking it's just going to be like giant, paper clips. All those chairs you see in SoCal. I don't know. Over here with your hand up.
Is there going to be an American release of the Lunar Bumble?
We don't know.
Everything that Wizards has said so far is no.
Yeah, that Lunar Bumblebee is basically a bad character card who's unique. Who is to celebrate them doing the simplified Chinese language edition. And I'm very pro the promo cards not necessarily being great, because it means if you want to chase them down, you're chasing them down to own them, and that's literally it. Otherwise, they'd be baiting off really powerful cards in promo conditions. Omega Supreme was a
Loot crate.
all out attack is not as great as it sounds. I'm having used it. Oh, Slipstream. So I don't yell about it, but I like Slipstream. She makes Wave 1 jets very viable, but I don't think she makes them. She's not the linchpin to Wave 1 jets. She's basically, when you run her, you're using more jet cards as the focus. When you replace her with Thundercracker, you're making a Thundercracker deck that uses the jet card as a support. Yeah, it's a different deck, but it's kind of like she limits, her being hard to get is limiting a deck type as of Wave 1. But I don't know, it's not like it's a deck type that if only I had access to this, I would beat all the other decks out there. Like, it's still kind of, not amazing, and the other 3 cards in that pack are not like game breaking. All Out Attack is a nice one in certain situations. Tandem targeting system, as of the Wave 2 cards that do its mechanic better, is kind of like, and Cliff Jumper's like, every time I ask someone why they use Cliff Jumper, what the plan is, they're like, I have cars and he's this many stars. I'm kind of like, oh,
I just wanted to share a quick little story. I was at Comic-Con last year. I went to the Astro booth. I bought Transformers. And it was like $15 for a card pack.
Oh.
Who needs that?
Okay, beforehand, I had one, thanks to Aaron, and I thought maybe I should get 2 more to have play sets, and then they were like $30 a pack on eBay, and I was like, that's ridiculous! This market's the bottom's gonna fall out of this market like a cork falling up out of a wine bottle. Who needs any of this stuff? Ah! And now they're $300 a pack. And Aaron could have had a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I could have not mulled a bunch of those and been making mortgage payments.
I still say, okay, mortgage payments of $300 installments twice.
Yeah.
$600.
I live in a place that's cheap to live. 3 of those
Okay.
packs is 2 months rent. Very easy.
But what happens after those 2 months? Do you have a tree that's growing to
No.
dimension max? That's not
No.
sustainable.
Hey, forward. Last stuff.
By the way, in case you're spooked by that, every time the Wizards guys are asked about those cards, I take the tone of their response as, we're not super into this. I don't think something with 4 unique cards is likely to be like, it's not like every SDCC, one of the 4 unique cards you can maybe get once. I'll be surprised if that happens.
Yeah, I definitely, the tone that I've heard is like, that took off in a different way than was expected, and this is maybe doing better than a lot of initial projections were. And those 2 things came together and shot the price of that up high, and anything they do in the future will probably be invested to that. But
Yeah.
You can find out.
The nice thing about this game is with the lack of organized play, any of the market fluctuations kind of like, they're frustrating at best or points to laugh at silver lining best, because it's like, okay, these cards are getting expensive so that you can win casual night. Or often so you can win more packs. You know, like it's not like this, I don't know. It's a bit of a tangent. We have some time. I got into Magic last year, and I liked playing it, but I'm very outside of the culture of it, and I got frustrated with how often it felt like, that's where my whole thing about like the difference between playing it kind of as a spike versus wanting to be a spike, is when people see a new game, and within a week they're like, well, the game's fun, but there's no prize support, so I don't want to play it. And I'm kind of like, well, isn't the purpose of the game you play, have fun, or you have no prize support? And I talked to a store owner about it, and I'm like, is it regular for like players of a game to only be interested if they can then profit from playing it? He's like, yeah, it's called estimated value, EV, whatever. And I'm like, that sounds ludicrous to me, the outside layman newbie. And he's like, that's great to hear, because it's not how it sounds to me. So I'm very pro just play the game, but
I think we got time for 1 or 2 more if they're real quick. Maybe we want to go right or left? Rock, paper, scissors.
if they're both quick, let's do
Mine's
both.
quick.
Okay.
You guys seem to have a little bit of insider knowledge. You think they're ever going to do esports cards, or should I
Everything
just
they've
like,
said has been, they're looking at generations right now.
Okay.
So probably not.
There's beast creatures and generations.
Yeah.
Right, but it's not a theme of the whole life.
It's not so complicated.
Do you think we're going to get Shattered Glass?
They have artwork in prison. They are doing original art.
They're doing original
But
art.
also Legends has shown up.
Again, I would say I would probably go with the same thing as before of they're going for generations. The other thing that makes it difficult is Shattered Glass isn't necessarily entirely Hasbro.
I'm actually curious about that as of Flames Toys.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there may be small pinholes through it, but I could see it being an issue of like, we have a whole line that's this, and somebody else comes along later and says, oh yeah, and that's our idea.
I think I fixed the feedback sound also, so congratulations, Chris. Good job. You don't have to do that. I was doing that now it's just getting cool. Now you're clapping to make fun of me. Oh no.
So they can be making fun of Chris, the better.
So I think that's our TCG panel. We got to quickly do set up for the next panel, which is the podcast roundtable round 1 panel. This was the pre-show opening ceremony. Now it's time for the pre-show opening ceremony panel. Yes, it's the man with the measure.
He's excited to be here.
He's supposed to be coming up into the podcast panel, so you can ask him some questions later on, 20, 30 minutes. So yeah, we're setting up for that. So a little bit of a break. Got to, I don't know what we got to do.
If you got them, that's great, right?
Any of you all can do backflips? Actually, don't, because if you're going to do on the lab, so don't do backflips. Podcasters, please come up here too. You all are.
I think the podcast panel is actually now, right?
Is it technically now?
Yeah.
All right. No, we have it's 7. It's only 7 o'clock, so it's like when you're born, you're not 1, you're 0. So it's minute 0 of the podcast panel. So just run on up here. Hi. What's up? Oh, excellent. Okay. 7.
Nice setup.
Oh, thanks, man. Dude, I like your shirt.
Cool.
So, if I may ask, how long have you been going to TFCon?
This is my third.
Third?
Yeah, I went to Toronto, Chicago, and this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So are you filming everything?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, I'll press your runs.
Yeah. Cool.